get things. Should have fixed this first, but whatever. I'll deal with it here. No, what? Come on. Odyssian. Ah, okay, fine. Well, actually, we can put Unreal Engine. Nope, doesn't have that in there either. Crap. Okay. We'll have no category then, or at least no game for the category. So, for those of you that don't know what Odyssian Void is or will be, it's a game that I started making a long time ago. It's gonna be, I'll have to explain it here in a second. Let's get this last bit in. Unreal Engine 4. Okay. Okay, I'll just leave it at that, I guess. Twitch has to get more frickin' tags in here, seriously. Okay. Alright, so Odyssian Void. So Odyssian Void is a game I am making. Like I said, I've been making it for quite a while. I started making it in 2007, yeah. As a game that's part of a so back in 2007 I was learning C++, basically self-taught myself C++ over about 5 months or so. Well, the basics anyway. Using a course at GameInstitute.com, and I was feeling confident enough in my ability to code simple things that I decided to jump into the game development contest that they had at the time, and probably still have it. It's student game contest or something similar to that. That's the name of it. And it was the 8th one they had, and the topic of the title was RPG. And I had just gotten done with one of the chapters in the first module that dealt with actually building a simple RPG game and extending it and things. And I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should get into this because now I kind of understand how to do this for RPGs, and since that's a topic, maybe I could do something with it. So I decided to make this game called, at first it was called the the very unique name of Planet Bomber. Basically, that's all it did. You were taken to a menu. It lets you go to a planet, and then you bombed the crap out of it. And you did that again and again and again. That was the very first version of this game. All text-based. Then the next version was a little bit more complicated. Not much more, but a little bit more. I took demo 2. And it allowed you to go to actually travel to planets. So you didn't just arrive there, you actually traveled to them while you were traveling to them. Interesting. No. Oh, I need to compile it, that's why. Shirt. and when you were traveling, you had the chance to encounter an enemy ship. And you would fight that ship. This one. And that was the second version. The third version had stations in it, and some new types of ships and equipment that you could put on the ships, and battles now took place in a Fox 3D space using NXYZ coordinates that I would randomly set up, and you would use really archaic kind of movements, archaic movement system to get there. So basically, you'd go in and say move so far this direction, like X or Y or whatever, and you would say plus or minus, and it would go there, and then you'd be able to see where the enemies are at, and based on where they were at positionally, your weapons would have a certain effectiveness. So like laser weapons, you'd have to get a little bit closer, within 10 kilometers from them to do any damage, really. Whereas missile launchers, were effective up to 20, 30, 50 kilometers. Then stations where you go to repair a ship, you go to buy things and whatnot. And then the fourth version was when it became Space Crusade. And that's when I implemented the new battle system that is in the current version, and added in a lot more complexity to the ship designs and whatnot, in terms of like the amount of weapons you can have on a ship varied by the level, the technological level of the ship, etc., etc. Then version 5 was when I introduced the whole I say version 5 was basically a complete recode of version 4 to make the code smaller, and also to add in new things as well. And then version 6, which is the current version that's hasn't been released yet, but was going to have mining. It's going to have a lot more complex battle system. Was going to have more enemies, but never got around to releasing it. But anyway, so I've kind of set this up a little bit. So what we're doing with this is we're trying to create a class that we can bring into the engine as a blueprint type. So in other words, we can take this class, and as we're creating variables, we can pull in this class as a variable class in the blueprint. And this will allow us to set up an ore type for an asteroid, basically. And I thought this was compiled. I'm not sure why Personal IntelliSense is freaking out, because it's doing all this connecting and searching and scanning and whatnot. I'm not sure what Unreal Engine was complaining about earlier. That was weird. Well, let's wait. Maybe I do need to compile it. Okay, this is ready, so let's go ahead and do so development editor, build solution. And then you may also need to do the other one as well, developer or development. I think you have to build both of them in order for it to show up properly, I think. Yeah, I'll go over some of these things to kind of get you a little familiarized. So, the U class, so basically anything that's a U next to it like this is indicating that it's something that the Unreal Forager can see. So like it can't see these down here. Well, they're private, but even if they weren't private, they wouldn't be declared U properties, so the editor would not be able to see them. Whereas all these functions and the classes overall have these U class and U function definitions above them, and these basically just tell the engine that yes, you can see these and you can call them blueprint callable, or you can see this and you can use it as a type. So I got one succeeded. All right, let's go ahead and build this version. Do this build this mode, and then see if it'll actually open up or not. Takes a while to build. Not a whole long time, but still a little bit. About 40-50 seconds. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attempting now to first we'll try and get this into the, well, it should already be in there actually, but then when we get into the editor, we're going to see if we can create a blueprint that will set up some values in it. We'll see if we can't get it to randomly pick a type of ore. We'll just give it a couple types of like iron or copper or something. Give it a random to for the amount of ore in it and whatnot, and we'll try and set those values to a instance of this class in an asteroid. And then if we still have time, we'll see if we can't set up something in terms of the particle for the mining, the test particle system for the mining laser. So let's see if this actually will open now. Damn. The game module cannot be found. Alright, Unreal, what the heck did you do to yourself? I'll use this one. So UE for the game module code. Okay, build solution. I think that's this one. What was that message? It said UV4 not selected to build solution. Not exactly what it said, but close enough. Alright, let's go ahead and try closing the launcher down as well. I bet that was it. It was still open. Don't know why you have to close the launcher too, but I guess you do. At least that's what it seems like. See if it'll actually load this time. Definitely weren't any errors. Let's open up in the Explorer. So there's the U project, SLN, source. Okay. Binaries. They all seem to be here. Let me close this down. We'll try regenerating the project files. Damn. Please ensure it exists and it's compiled. I mean, it looks like all the files are here. Something's obviously missing though. Let's see. There aren't any errors. Okay, so we actually switched the engine version between. Oh, that's interesting. So try opening this. What happens? Now I get the same error. What's it trying to look for that it can't find? UE4. Oh, so we do have to build Unreal Engine. Okay, so it's kind of hard to build Unreal Engine without Visual Studio installed, but whatever. Run project manager and bat, which we did that. Load. UV4 SLN. Let's see. Oh, it's not open. There we go. So looks like you have to rebuild UE4 anytime you make changes. That's kind of annoying. Or I guess anytime you delete the intermediate folder. It says one succeeded. It's up with Epic Games launchers, keeping the taskbar open. So that's interesting. Succeeded. Let me do a clean. Let's try building it again. Oh, just like that. That is interesting. I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll see. Nope. Okay, UE4. UE4 and root engine intermediate project files. I don't see UE4 SLN though. So generate project files, not that. Okay, let's just go out to here and look for it. Was it generate project files? There's an SH. It's a shell script. And it's located in 21. Okay, so run that. Chicken intermediate it, and still nothing there. Which is, I guess, not unsurprising. So this is for 4.11. Trying to find friggin' documentation for the right version is annoying. So they must have changed it since then. Then again, this is from 2018. It's not that old. Okay, so maybe we just need to recompile the thing from scratch, like it's saying. Let's go to build, clean solution, and build solution. So there's definitely no errors. Warning. Oh, it's just log commands. So that's finishing. Let's take some more peeks over here and see what we can find. Development editor 164. So succeeded to date. That's an interesting thing though. Let's check that. See what the linker's doing. Something for something a bit more specific. Debugging. Let's see. There's got to be an nmake somewhere in here. Okay. Let's see. So there were a couple sections that looked like they were for the module, but so source mining. So build Win64 UV4 editor Inc mining demo 2. This is all build related stuff. I think we went with binaries. So there's an EXE here. Global shader cache. That's probably because we're not building it, doing the game build, or doing the development build. Damn. What is the problem, Unreal? So there's a source. Okay, we got source, public, resource H, CPP, build CS, targets, huh. Seems to be a very common issue, though. Jeez. Well, I don't have a GitHub repo, so. That's from 2014. That's not definitely not going to be useful. Well, it's Xcode, not for Visual Studio. Solution, build the code. Control-Shift-B. Oh, so maybe you have to. Okay, maybe it has to be game development editor. I think we're on game developer. This is annoying. I wish we could figure out how can I make this larger? It's not showing. I think we're on the wrong version though. What the hell? Now it says debug. Oh, debug game editor. Whoops, that's what I want. So I'm just gonna do a rebuild. See if this works. Deleting old hot reload file. Oh, there's 8 actions on this one, so it's different. Different is good. I could have sworn I had this working like on Sunday. So yeah, yesterday. But when I built it, I had it open, so had the editor open, so that might be why. Okay, no errors. And we have the lib Suppress to live on object. EXP, suppress to EXP. Alright. Now let's see if this will open or not. I double clicked it. Crap. Aha, there we go. That was it. Go. There's asteroid loaded in. So if I go to asteroid real quick here, this blueprint. Let me take a look here. You'll see that I have my asteroid resource type in here. The type is resource. I also have the name, asteroid size, and asteroid ID. One thing I need to do with this is... Crap, how do I switch to the visual? Ah, there. So there's our static mesh. I need to import the other stuff for it first, though. Let's save this. So first I need to go to content. Guess we'll create a new folder. So I made this just really simple. Now I gotta remember where I saved it at. Is Blender open? It is not. Let me get Blender open here and see if I can remember where I saved it at. So I created a test asteroid here and I'll show it to you. It's just a block that I've added some deformations to and subdivision or what the hell is it called? Subsurface modifier too. There's also a material that I had on this before, but it's not. I don't have it on there now. Actually, no, maybe I do. No, I don't. I think I took it off, yeah. But just this was a cube at one point. Anyway, so what I want to see is where I exported this to. I think it's documents. Yeah, documents. Okay. So now that I know that, we can re-import it. There it is. So, I'm going to say not to import the textures or materials. So we can just apply them here in UE4. And I think all the rest of the stuff we can just leave it as it is. This will take a bit of time. Everything takes a bit of time in UE4. Just does. It's actually kind of annoying. The first time I tried to import this, it actually crashed. Yeah, so it's gonna suck up a bunch of memory to load it in. There it goes. Maybe. It's doing something. Nope, guess not. Still chugging away. That kind of leveled up on the memory. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna need to close it and reopen it and try re-importing it. Oh, there it goes. Back again. And down again. There we go. Finally. God. Not sure why. No, it froze again. Not sure why it takes this long, why it does this weird crap for, but it is what it is. It's not that big a file, really. I think it took at least 3 minutes last time to import this stupid thing. There we go. So this is going to be our mesh here. We need to go to a new folder, and we'll call it materials. And we're going to import a new material from downloads. So the one I used on this before was 6. Really quick, I want to open this with Photoshop. I'm going to change the color from this gray to something else. Really quick. So image mode adjustments, color replacement. I want something more of like a rusty kind of orange color or something. It looks kind of good. I don't want there to be any artifacting though. Like that. Nothing like that. There's still a little bit of artifacting there too. Whoa. Definitely don't want that kind of color. Probably can't help the artifacting. It might just be down to the texture itself. The way the image is set up. Let's get something that's halfway decent, and then we'll see if we can't mess around with the settings a bit and get something that looks a little bit more what we want. That kind of helps bring it out a little bit more. There's still like a bunch of artifacting going on though. If it wasn't for all this crap in here, it would actually be halfway decent. That one would. Some of the color replacement tools just freaking out on some of this stuff for some reason. Like that, for example. What the hell? All that just goes totally nuts. Well, it doesn't have to be perfect. Crap, I'm getting too close to the edge of that thing. And it's interesting how, if you're not right up against the very, like, far edge, it doesn't have the color very well. It's kind of washed out, sort of. The darker down you go, the more artifacts there seem to be. This is really annoying, trying to find... There, that'll do, I guess. I'm just gonna save this as let's call it rust or something. So I'll pick this. Now I'm gonna go back to our mesh, asteroid mesh, and apply this material to it. Or actually, it's 16, right? Or 6. Or not. What the hell is it called? Oh, this is annoying. Can we stick this up on here? Yeah. Yeah, 6_ rust. Yeah, so this stuff here would have would be like a glitch kind of looking thing because it would be black, transparent black. Cancel, not that one. Just this one. Pull this out again. Check your filters. Damn it, come on. Oh, right, I forgot. We've got to create a material from that, and then we can apply that material to the object. Well, so we'll see how it looks when we get it onto the asteroid. All right. What I find interesting is that we're looking at the inside of it rather than the outside. At least that's how it looks like. Or it might just be that it's like telescoping inwards as we get closer to it or something. Number of levels of detail. Okay, well, we'll save that. It's going to be our test asteroid. So now we can use that in the blueprint. Okay, there's our test asteroid. Let's go ahead and compile it real quick. Throw it into the scene. Let's go ahead and see if I can get this thing scaling up a bit. Scale. Let's maybe go to 3. Okay. So let me jump in here and we'll take a look at it. So I'd probably definitely don't want to use a static mesh for this. I want to figure out something else. Because it was actually, well, it's just collisions with it. Because it doesn't look right. Might just be down to settings to... Because some of the areas I think that go inward, you actually can see it kind of telescoping into it somehow. And it looks like you're looking on the at the inside of it when you get too close, like right there. But it actually looks good though for a test. All the detail and whatnot on it. Alright, so now we have that. We need to set up some stuff in the blueprint to allow us to mine this thing. And we have to set up some other things in addition to that as well. So, first things first, we need to create something that will assign this a type of ore and set up the values for it that are in there. So the best thing for that's probably going to be a For right now, for the tech demo, probably could get away with the blueprints in the actual game, though. It'd probably have to be some sort of class that would then call the game world instance and then pull in the asteroids through a list or something and a vector or something and cycle through them and set them up. But for this, since there's one and since it's just like we're just doing a tech demo on it, I think a blueprint would work just fine. Okay, let's go ahead and make a new blueprint. So this is going to be... So we'll just call this roid setup or something. So we're going to set up some functions and some variables. We got to think what we need now for this. This is where I'm going to go jump into the... Let me throw this up here. Into my... Actually, it's better to go over here. I think it's this one. I think we have all of our new test code in here. So asteroids, that's fine. That's all the asteroid stuff. I want to do the asteroid setup, which is underneath. What would it be? It would be underneath PL system, I believe. Create asteroids. Or no, asteroid belts. Yes, there we go. Alright, so we have some temp sizes. We have an asteroid belt full, which is fine. We don't need that at the moment. Alright, so ore tier, roid size category, and the ore stage. So, we have the ore tier, the ore stage, and size category. Then we look at the security level of the system. We use that to then pull out the settings for the tier. Do some checking against some ranges, and then we process asteroid size 1 or whatever these are. Asteroid size 1 for tier, whatever tier that is that we're passing through. So this determines the size category, then we go to process 2, which determines the actual size of the asteroid, and then processes the ore. So basically all we need to do is we need to have a list of ores, and then just some random range kind of value to so on that note, it might behoove us to figure out structs and also randomization. Okay. Random integer node. Okay, so there is a random integer node. Good. So what about a struct though? Well, do we even need it? Well, it'd be nice to have it to set up a range, but we don't really need it. We can have we can set it up on this random node maybe. Yeah, random integer max 3. So you may not need to use a struct at all. Alright, so first of all we're going to add a function. We're going to call it setup asteroid. We need to pull in that asteroid as a type here, so we may need to, let's see, there's a roid, I saw a roid somewhere. Roid setup, that's what I found. Let's see. There's an asteroid. Alright, so this is going to be the asteroid. So, rename to Roid. And eventually this would be like a list or something of that. So we'll need that. We'll need an int float. All of those are floats. Oh right, we can. I forgot. It's right click to set up a list of them. Float. So this is going to be size 1. Another float size 2, and one more size 3. Okay. Now, do I need to do anything to specify specifically this asteroid? So no, it's just this specific asteroid then. That's fine. In the future, we'll need to figure out a way to one, we'll probably need to figure out a way to either prototype or dynamically create these blueprints, like a cluster of them or something, and then how to reference them in another blueprint. But for now, that'll be fine. Just use the one. So I'm going to set it up. So we need to first cast to well, let me see. So get roid, set roid. Okay, so there's that. So we need to. So in this, we need to create. Let me go back over to this real quick. We need a function called getResource. Oh, it's right there. Duh. Alright, get resource. So description, blah, blah, blah. Outputs. It's going to be a resource type. Param will be roid resource. And asteroid. Okay. So we'll pass that out. We also need a couple more functions. Set roid size and set roid name. We also need to get and for both of them, get roid size and get roid name. So input's going to be a float. And say right size. Pull this off here. We're going to do a set asteroid size. And that's all we're going to do for that one. Same sort of thing for this. Input is going to be a string. Say roid name. Okay, then get. Kind of get the idea of what we're doing with this one now. Technically, I should be doing caps for both of these, but both the first and the last. Stop. What the? Okay, well, let's redo that. Oh my god. Okay. Kill it and burn it with fire. Well, let's create a new. Somehow the variable name got stuck. Is kind of weird. Get asteroid. Name. Okay. Now, what I'm hoping is that we don't need to use it. Well, we probably should create a set then. If we can get it, I don't think it'll pass a reference. It'll probably just pass an instance of this one, and it won't reflect the changes back into it. So I'll probably need to reset it after we change the values. So we'll need to do a set resource as well. So inputs, new res resource, and do a set stored resource. Okay. Compile it. So now we have a roid. I'm going to call set okay, so it's called crap. I'm gonna need to open up the can I have two of these running at once? Let's find out. UI test, new UI test. I think I can. So I haven't dealt with this stuff in a little while, so now what I need to figure out is blueprints. So HUD reference, return HUD reference. What I am looking for is not in here apparently. I'm looking for... It's not there either. Maybe it's underneath... maybe some materials. Or no, it might be the UI widget. That's interesting. Definitely not that one. Yeah, here. So we need to figure out... No, it's not this either, damn. Where the heck are you? Here we go. Okay, I think. Or maybe it was on those. On these. The blueprints for those. Not those. Crap. Where was that? Didn't really put this into the best... Didn't have very good, shield bar params. Cover mesh, SP mesh. These are just the meshes. This isn't the actual objects. Not these, in other words. These blueprints. Okay, here we go. So I'm looking for is where we did what we did with the player. So cast a third person object, other actor. So that's on overlap begin. It's not kind of like what we want though. So we need a way to pull a specific actor and then cast it to a specific type. UE4 blueprints. Get all actors of class to get them. So get all actors of... Oh, okay, get all actors of class. Is there a specific get actor of class? Guess we can find out. Good to know that exists. We could use that to pull in all the roids that we would create that way. Aha, that's how we would do it, I guess. So, anyway, so we want to figure out if there's some sort of get actor... Get all actors of class. Oh, that's interesting. Context sensitive. Still doesn't show up though. When was this from? 15? $4.9. Or wait. Ah, there it was. So it has to be in, like, in response to an event or something. Get all active actors. Target is BPC nerds. Well, that's not quite what I was looking for. Here we go. Level blueprint reference. Spawn actor reference. What if I just want to have a specific? Caster referencing. Well, let's see what happens. So let's just save that for a second. So okay. Let's get the level blueprint. Right click and select create reference to trigger box. Create. Okay, so that's an actor. Okay, yeah, so it does reference it. So it is referencing this specifically. Okay. So it should work then. Alright, so Royd, we shouldn't have to set up the reference to it. It should just exist. Hopefully. We'll find out, I guess. So, the first thing we need to do is to set up a few variables. So we need a, we'll just call this ors. Whoops, that should be a string. So we'll say copper. Oh, whoops. Iron. Aluminum. And I guess nickel. So we'll just use those types. And then we need, so we have that. So now we have to select one of them. So let's go and get rid of that. So random integer max 3, I think. Yeah. So, so how do we specifically, so if I say get ors, well, let's read the value. How do we get a UE4 get elements at index of list? Okay, just a get. So, ors, I guess we do need to bring in the reference of ors. Alright. So, let me pull up Royd again, Asteroid again. So, that's going to be in resource. And for that, I think we'll need to go over to the UE4 or to Visual Studio. So we want to call set name, and then we'll just say set tier and stage to 1. And that's that's interesting. There should be an ID for the OR ID, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's part of the object. That's why it's not in there. Yeah, OID. Damn. Well, for now we won't use it then. We do have res name though, so we'll use that instead, since we don't have it hooked up to the database or anything yet. So we want to go Soroid. Get asteroid resource. Aha, cool. So these are all the functions from inside of the class over there in the code. So set name. And that's going to be the name. Set tier and stage. Tier, we'll just set it to 1. Oops. And stage we'll set to 1 as well. Okay, so now what else do we need? Not this one, that one. So we got the tier, the stage, or the amount, the or amount. So for this, we'll have to first set the res base size and the asteroid size. So if we come over here to our A belt stuff, so the tier brings in okay, asteroid. Alright, so this sets up the stage, and then that brings in this stuff. So OR element, temp size. So get base size OR element. So that's calling from resource, get temp, get base size. So resource. So when are we setting up the resources? That would be in the system. Or, well, settings, really. We want, I think it's roid settings. No. So that's a small, huge, large range. Where are our resources? Okay, resources. Select from where. Oh. We're actually getting it here, okay. So, no, yeah, it comes from the database then. The base size and all that stuff. So, we'll just have to create some random values. Again, it doesn't really matter. So let's hold off on pulling this pin off to here first. We need to do some other setting first. Set size 1. Should be a way to like put a description or something here, text or something. Hell. It's funny how, well, if you don't, like, do this a whole bunch, you can forget stuff pretty easily. UE4 notes and blueprints. Comments. Add a comment node. Node comment. That's what we want. First, you have to spell comment correctly. There we go. Size 1 will store base roid size. Alright, then we need to have a random flip. So 1 and 0? Now I want to set a range. I'm going to float in range. So min will be, say 50. I'll say max is 350. So size 2 will be let's see, so that's the roid size, this will be the ore amount. And when I say amount and size, I mean the random range multiplier or addition or whatever we're going to use for it for the size. So we'll use these in calculations later on. And then size 3 is going to be what do we use it over here for? Okay, it was just, it stored the final value. That's all it did. I don't care about it in this one then. So we got those now. We do need to do another float range though. So we'll say it's about 75%. So it is, let's see, 75% of 50. So half is 25. And then another quarter would be, well, let's see, 1/4 is 14.5. So then that's 19, so that's 39.5. So that's 75% of 50. And then, let's see, what would this be? 35, 24, 17.5. So 175. Yes. Or no, that's half. So a quarter of that would be 13.75. No, 12.7. It's 12 and 12, 13, 13, 16, 13 and 7, 5 would be. Okay, it's a little too late for. And great, my watch is dead. Okay, calculator. So what is 75% of 350? 262.5. I've gotten there eventually. 262 or 60. That's already gone. $262. Hopefully OBS is still going. Okay, good, yeah. I haven't managed to connect up the asterisk as a hotkey to stop recording it for it, so. No, I'm gonna go here. So yeah, 262.5. So that'll go to there. Okay. Now that we have that, now we can go down to the set name, tier, and stage. Next, we want to set ore amount. So for the ore amount, we're gonna say it's the size 1 value divided by 2.5 times the size 2 value. So first we're going to do set or set O amount. Oh, pull off of here. Derp set. Interesting. Did I forget that one? Oh, it's update O amount. That's why. Derp. So update O amount. Okay, so operation will be set. So now, so first I'm going to do a divide float. So I'm going to divide size 1 by 2.5. And then multiply float. I'll be setting the ore amount. What else do we need to set? Stage, tier, type. So that's the resource type. Description, the name. We already set the name, I think, down here. Amount we set. So yeah, all we need to do now is to set the base size and the type. Base size is the ore 2. Well, I guess we don't really need to set it right now. That'll be for later. We do need to set the type though. Of course, it's going to be ore. Okay. So that sets up our resource for the asteroid. Now, for the asteroid itself, what do we need? We need the asteroid size and name. So we'll pull a pin off over here. Set set asteroid size. And we're just going to pull the size 1 down here. Make it easy. And then we're also going to do another one for set asteroid name. And in this case, it's going to be this one again. Actually, let's pull this off down here, or rather pull this out. Or get rid of it, however we need to do that. I think we just select it and hit delete. Or not. There we go. Break link. So, string... So how can we concatenate a string? Format text node. What? Text localization. You cannot view it. You must have administrator level access to read text localization. Okay, that didn't work so much. Let's try this. Oh, append. Okay. So how does this work? Can I see strings to... So... Original string to append. I didn't know you can toggle. Oh, wow. That's what I needed, was one of these. I didn't need these huge things. Like this stuff over here. There's supposed to be a way you can just easily, like, Alt-drag or Alt-Control, Alt-Shift or something to be able to... Whatever, I can just do a copy, I guess. Wait, what's the duplicate? Control-W. That's really what I want to do, is duplicate it. Alright, so then we have the return value, which is the original string, and then we're going to say asteroid. So basically it's going to say common resource name asteroid. So common copper asteroid, common iron asteroid, whatever. Okay, so that'll set up all those values. So it sets up the values for the resource element of resource variable of the asteroid, then sets up the two things for the asteroid size and name. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and compile. So what I would like to do now is, it's getting kind of late. So the next steps will be for this is to somehow try and see what we get out of that, out of those functions, and see if it sets it up correctly. So what we do next is to set up a some UI widgets that would pull out the values of those variables and show them on the screen, so we could do debugging based on that in a easy way. But that would take roughly probably about 45 minutes or so to do, and it's about 11:40 now. So for tonight, that's going to be it. If I do some more streaming for this before I do that, then I'll do it on stream. But I'll probably do that before I stream again, so it'll probably be done by the next time I stream anything for this. But yeah, so that's going to be that. The other stuff we have to do besides that, though, is then we have to implement the particle system, which I've kind of already started to kind of do, but it's tricky because beam particles are kind of interesting to work with. What we'd have to do is on this template, we'd have to add a new component, a target component to this that we could then use as a target node for the endpoint of the beam, and then add one to this somehow for the start point, or it would be maybe something you do in the code based on like by getting a reference to the game world or something. Doing that and then adding in the code to initiate the particle system when we fire at the asteroid to mine from it, targeting for the asteroid, and then the actual mining system itself as far as moving values around. So it's still got a ways to go for this, but it's it'd be really good to get that done, because that's like one of the major systems we would have, a mining system, getting that into the actual engine, seeing how it would, how you would put it in and how it would operate, and what kinds of issues you'd have to work around, and what kinds of things you could do that you might not be able to do in just solid C++ code like I wrote it originally in the current version of the game. Like, for example, using the blueprints. All the stuff we just did would take somewhere between 30 and 50 lines of code in Visual Studio, and here we can just hook together some lines and boxes and it's done. So yeah, the blueprint editor is pretty strong. It allows you to replace some aspects of the coding that you might have to otherwise do, so it makes game development a little bit more accessible to non-developers. But yeah, so thanks for watching the stream if you did on Twitch or YouTube. If you're watching afterwards on YouTube, comments, questions below. Would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And I might do some streaming tomorrow morning before going into work for Gold Rush. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. If I don't, then that's because I'm recording Chrono Cross.